Okay, so as my love for the Hot Wheels 150 scale Batmobiles is my geek thing, to be honest, and I enjoy collecting them. I'm going to show off today pretty much my collection so far. I am missing one or two pieces currently, which, to be fair, you can only get them through sort of special means, either going to places to get them or looking online, which is pretty much a needle in a haystack job in itself anyway. So hopefully what I'm about to show you is in chronological order, starting with this Batmobile. This is 1940s now. I think staying with the comic book era. This goes then through to the 1960s. I do love the 60s stuff, Batman wise. I think it's just a period of time that was very vibrant and very colourful and pretty much swinging 60s, as it were. And I think now we're into the 80s, which is pretty much this. That one could be of a different time period, I'm not too sure. I know that one is from the 80s, or an 80s comic book. That was Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns comic book, where he fights Superman, along with sort of other mutant type beings that are just now a part of the world or a part of Gotham City. And here we get to the film, 89 film, which is, to be honest, this here is one of my favourite Batmobiles, or my favourite Batmobile. I loved it in the Flash film as well, so even though I didn't get driven, it just got shown off a bit. There's the Batwing, or the Batplane. I think an updated version of that was in the Flash film, but I do like the one from the 89 film. There we go. This is now into Batman Returns of 1992. Yeah, armoured Batmobile and the Bat Missile. That's lovely, that's incredible. I did like the special effects on that one. That's pretty good. That's the Batboat at the end of the film that he uses in the sewers when he's pursuing the Penguin and his army. That's the Penguin's vehicle from that film. And I think carrying on from that, which is the animated series now, Batman, heavily influenced by Michael Keaton's Batman and Michael Keaton's Batman's World, to be honest, which, safe to say, a lot of the drawing, a lot of the animation and a lot of the music took inspiration. So yeah, that's a special edition off of that one. That's one with bullet holes in it. That's that TV series is Batwing, or animated series is Batwing. Then another film came out, that was 1995, that was the Batman Forever film with Val Kilmer. That's the Batmobile from that one. I think that's the only model that they did of that. Then after that came the George Clooney, and, well, quite frankly, different take on Batman. I'm not going to slate it or anything, it was just different. Probably trying to recreate the swinging 60s, I think Joel Schumacher, the director, was doing, but people weren't about that. People didn't want that. People wanted something more adult, up to date, and a little bit more darker. So yeah, this film in particular was more of a lighter tone. And then Christopher Nolan's new take on Batman, which was 2005 onwards. So So yeah, that's the Batmobile from that film in the camo colours to begin with. Then he gets a paint job and becomes this one. But this is in the Dark Knight film, which is arguably one of the best Batman movies of all time. I like to think of it as one of the best sort of crime drama films of all time. If you were to take Batman and the Joker out of it, it's a pretty gritty and intense crime sort of thriller film, a bit like Heat. But yeah, there's the Bat Pod right there. That kind of shifts into the Dark Knight Rises because that vehicle was still used. And you've got the Bat Wing, or the Bat as it was called in this one, which is, to be fair, pretty interesting take on the Bat plane. So then we move into Zack Snyder's universe. That's the Batmobile from Batman versus Superman, which I thought it wasn't that grey. I thought it was a little bit darker than that, but obviously it's Hot Wheels and their interpretation of it in 150. And that's the Bat plane, which is seen also, I think now, it's safe to say, it's the iconic, before the iconic warehouse bit where he kind of gets out and jumps off it, crashes through the window before he takes out all the guards, Arkham Asylum style. And then you come to the Justice League, which, two versions of the film. I preferred the longer version. The shorter version was a bit meh. But yeah, that's that Batmobile, I think, from that film. Same thing really, just with a bigger armoured mounted cannon on the top and more gun turrets, I think. Then we come to Matt Reeves's The Batman, which 2022, I believe. So yeah, that's the Bat cycle that he drives, which I think he actually gets away with driving it normally when he's riding around as Bruce Wayne as well, with just his helmet on and his normal clothes. And then the Batmobile that was used to take down the Penguin in that lovely sequence, which I thought was pretty kick-ass, to be fair, but hey ho, to each their own. But yeah, that's generally my my collection so far. So yeah, I'm a Batman guy. I'm a bit of a Batman geek. I love my Batman stuff. Wouldn't mind collecting stuff in 118, but I don't know, man. After looking online with certain things, the 118 scale stuff isn't exactly to the spec of how it originally was in the movies and in the TV series and in other literature. So I've kind of held off from collecting all that stuff. I might collect the Keaton Batmobile from that in a 118. I might, I don't know, I'll have to see. But yeah, that's pretty much my collection so far.